your language learning journey, you may have experienced some analysis paralysis. I mean, there are so many resources out there, or charts and diagrams saying you need this amount of hours to learn, or need to learn X amount of words each day. And for some people, this can be really overwhelming. Especially if you're new to language learning, you might not know where to begin. Well, today I want to introduce to you a concept that I got from product design thinking. I've been working as a UX designer for almost a decade, and what's really crucial in UX design is learning how to do systems thinking. In this video, I'll show you exactly how I use MVP thinking in my language learning. That would be minimum viable product. This can really enhance your language learning experience and reduce the feelings of analysis paralysis. Let's turn the concept of MVP, minimum viable product, into MVL, minimum viable language. Think of the smallest but highest impact language learning resources and phrases that you can use to learn. Many language learners spend most of their time researching what are the best language learning methods and resources instead of spending their time on actual learning. But Lindie, we need good resources to learn. Yes and no. Back in the day, 15 years ago, was it 13, 14, whatever, more than a decade ago, when I started learning Korean, I had one textbook from my teacher. It was like some crusty photocopied thing, not even an actual book. One paper dictionary, and like 3 Korean friends. That's it! I had no other apps and resources. 하지만 지금은 한국어가 제가 가장 유창하게 구사하는 언어 중에 하나고, 한국어를 잘 공부하는 어플도 없었고 교과서도 그때는 거의 없었어요. 게다가 그때는 어떤 공부 방법을 사용해야 할지 몰랐고 그냥 하다가 배우게 됐어요. A big issue that we have when we just start learning a language is I don't know enough vocabulary and I'm nervous to speak. But you need to learn how to speak around topics. Your goal should be to get to a conversational state with the minimum amount of things that you know. For example, in Spanish, you might not know how to say scissors. In fact, I don't think I know how to say that. But I might say something like, necesito la cosa para cortar papel. Maybe you don't know the word vegetarian. Puedes decir cómo se llama alguien que no come carne. Ou si tu connais pas le mot parapluie par exemple, tu peux dire j'ai besoin de la chose pour la pluie. And don't be embarrassed to sound silly. Maybe you don't know the word 맵다, spicy in Korean. You could even say 이거 먹으면 입이 아파요. If I eat this, my lips hurt. My mouth hurts. Yes, I've done that many times. On that note, something I love recommending to people is writing. Oh, but Lindie, I don't like writing, blah, blah, blah. It is so helpful to me. It has been such a joy. It is because if you write without a dictionary and you just try and express things the way you know them, this is where you're able to identify knowledge gaps. Oh, I don't know that word. I don't really know how to say this in the past tense. Just write. It's okay if you throw in English or your native language in there. And then after you've written that, go back and look up those words and phrases. Now that we've talked about the MVL, minimum viable language, let's talk about the systems tool. You should focus on building a structured, simple environment for the MVL. Going back to my example of being a product designer, this is exactly how it works. We don't think of all the features at once, but we identify the core problem that we want to solve and start small. So how do you build your structured MVL environment? The input system, so what you're using to learn, what content you're consuming, should be high value but low effort. So instead of browsing for the perfect textbook, find a system that feeds you useful language automatically. I recommend getting a tutor or a language exchange app. I have some discount codes in the description because you can book even a 15-minute session every week that is minimal effort, but you get a lot from it. Remember talking around a topic? This is your opportunity to do it. At this point, you might be asking, well, what if I really don't have enough sentences to be able to speak? Luckily, I have been in this situation many times. Specifically, para español, I did a Sábado de Español, a Saturday language exchange before COVID in Singapore. And I could barely speak. I think I had been learning Spanish for like 1 year at the time. I memorized set phrases or patterns or chunks of phrases that I could use, patterns that I could copy. you can use something like a template conversation that you use with various people. Something like, tell me about your day in simple words. Then they're going to give words like, oh, it was good, or I had a tough day. And the more people you talk to about this topic, the more common words are going to pop up. Another template you could use is, I will describe 3 things about my life and you can correct me. Just learn that phrase. So this can become a little testing ground for your minimum viable language system. I know if you're watching this, you are probably a high achiever who wants to improve yourself. With a new year coming up, I recommend you check out Brilliant to help you reach serious goals. It helps you become a better problem solver in math, computer science, AI, logic, and more. My favorite topics, of course, are AI and logic. I'm currently doing the Truth and Lies module and also How Does AI Work? I love that Brilliant is hands-on with problem solving, and this is more effective than watching lectures or videos passively. Brilliant also does a brilliant job in creating a personalized learning plan for you. It starts you at a level suited to your background and then gives you personalized reviews and practice sets to help you progress at a pace suited to you. Brilliant's message is that everyone can solve problems. If you don't believe that, it's probably that you have experiences of learning the wrong way. Brilliant teaches you by having a hands-on approach to problem solving until it makes sense. To learn for free, you can go to brilliant.org/LindieBuertis, scan the QR code on the screen, or use the link in the description. Brilliant is also giving you 20% off a premium annual subscription, which means you get unlimited daily access to everything on the Brilliant app. Then, a really crucial part of your system should be accessible content at or just above your level. You can watch YouTube videos related to topics that you like at 0.75 speed if you need it slowed down a little. You can also choose one podcast series to listen to for 15 minutes a day, once a week even. Something else I really love is graded readers. I always mention Ollie Richards' short stories in language. You can get them on Amazon. I have the store link below where I've curated some of the readers that I really enjoy. Graded readers are super helpful because they are suited to your level. Then you need an output system. This is so important. You have to use the language. Don't just consume resources. Use it as soon as you can. You need to set a schedule of using the language every single day. Think of micro missions you can use every day. 5 to 10 minutes if you're feeling really overwhelmed. This could be recording yourself every morning when you make breakfast. Just a little audio recording speaking about your day in your target language. 5 minutes. 2 minutes even. You can write 3 sentences about what you did that day. You might describe an object in your room without naming it directly to speak around it. By using small things like this, you are not waiting for motivation to come. It becomes a habit. Then something interesting you can integrate into your system is an error database. Learning from mistakes are really useful. So you can have a spreadsheet, a notebook, whatever. It will be what I wanted to say, what I said, and the correct version, or just what I said and corrections. This doesn't just have to be from speaking, it could be stuff that you've written, especially if you're writing your own journals and then getting them corrected. What I like to do with language exchange partners is voice record our conversations. That way I can listen back to it, especially if my friend is correcting me while we're talking, then I don't need to take notes during the conversation. The last system is your environment. Very, very important. You need to see the language around you. I have a bunch of language books here and in my bookshelf and on all my microphone stuff. Anyways, I try and see the language around me often. In fact, right here on my desk, we have my 2 French notebooks. It is constantly on my desk because if something pops in my head, if I hear it in a podcast, it goes into this book and it doesn't leave my desk. It can be your physical environment or your tech environment. So think about your phone or your computer. You can change that to a specific language. If you're not ready to have your entire device in a language, you can do what I do and just put a specific app into another language. My Instagram is in French, and also my Slack, the communication app we use at work, my Slack interface is in French, and my Gmail is in Hungarian. You can even use your phone wallpaper or your lock screen wallpaper to put top 10 vocab words or phrases that you want to use that week. Seeing the language often, you are not relying on willpower, You are relying on cues that are around you constantly. Let's look at this table. Again, with my UX thinking, we're going to see product MVPs and how they correlate to language MVLs. Product MVP would be the core feature that solves the main problem. On the language side, it would be core phrases that enable basic communication. In product design or tech, a feedback loop with early users to get feedback on how to improve and iterate the product. The language version of that would be regular conversation practice with partners, regular lessons with tutors, etc. In product design, we also iterate using data. How can you use data in your language learning? That would be maybe your spreadsheet of corrections. It could be your lists of common words with the Pareto principle. You use this to expand your vocabulary on what you actually wanted to say. If you want me to give you an example of a practical week that you can use in this MVL system, let me know and I can make another video about that. I see that a ton of my viewers aren't subscribed to my channel. Please subscribe if you're interested in productivity, language learning, some lifestyle vlog. It will be great to have you be a subscriber. Thanks! I think in the previous video I was wearing dinosaur earrings. だけど今回は日本で買ったエビピアスです。Do you like these shrimps? I don't eat seafood, but I thought the ebi are really cute. Also, I went to a sugar glider and bush baby cafe in Kurashiki last year in Japan, and I was wearing these earrings, and the sugar gliders were like trying to eat it and grabbing onto it. I'll put a clip in here because I think it was so cute. That is it. See ya! Also, I probably spent about an hour and a half trying to set up this microphone and this receiver because I lost the cable for the receiver to connect it to my camera, and I had to watch so many YouTube tutorials, and I am so frustrated, but I do want to put in effort to record high quality videos for you, and I'm gonna try my best in the next 2 weeks to batch film a whole bunch of videos because I'm going for my surgery on the 6th of December, and probably with all the swelling and healing, I will be able to make a video in January after that. In addition, many of you have emailed me saying you have gotten a similar or exactly the same operation, and you've told me about how it was for you, how the healing process was, eating. Thank you so much. I haven't been able to reply to everybody's emails yet, but it is so appreciated that you shared your experience with me.